a bit.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This actually hurts me to hear because this reminds you of just watching the Giants get smacked every Sunday.
Well, I was gonna say this song is a little bit too upbeat and positive for all of us because we're all losers this week.
Yes,
So we're kind of like it's a deflated sing along.
I'm really excited to hear this music.
Whatever, Steve.
And it's out of 3 years of my entire lifetime. Where I'm like, yeah, great.
We're sick of it. We're gonna
Loving
keep
football.
We're gonna keep the Eagle discussion to a minimum. We're sick of it. No, just kidding. We'll give you a little bit of time there. Hey guys, welcome in. This is the NFC East Updates and Reaction Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Like I mentioned, we got Week 10 come for you in the NFL. All of the NFC East games from this weekend. Unfortunately, the 3 teams that did play lost. We will talk all about it. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
I'm Joshua Rodrguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Also follow my fantasy football podcast at Flex on Fantrax.
I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. It is KAUFMANN.
Ooh, I like that. I like how you paused that. DeAnjilo, I'm DeAnjilo. You can hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV or on Instagram at DeAnjilo.
Alrighty, 3 teams lost.
She's so down.
One team had a bye. Well, we'll get to the Cowboys. We're going to start with the Redskins-Vikings first, but the Cowboys game was atrocious. Yeah, we're going to pass. Well, that was after you guys took the L as well.
Yes.
We're going to pass the mic to DeAnjilo, see what his first thoughts are on his game, and we also got some highlights. There were some good moments, and we will get to those as well. So what do you want to start with?
Shoot, Case Keenum looked like Carson Wentz.
Right?
No, the defense just didn't start playing until the fourth quarter. That's pretty much the summary. When your offense has to score 40 points to win a game, which they could have done actually. They had a lot of opportunities to do that, but I have no disagreements with the defense. I mean with the offense, excuse me. But when I looked at the schedule, we were looking at the Vikings and the Saints. I just wanted to go 1-1, so I'm not that down. It's okay. It's gonna be hard to beat the Saints, but I'm not that scared of the Saints either. So.
Really?
I mean, yeah, they beat up on the Bills, but that's to say that you thought the Bills were really good beforehand.
I mean, Saints are putting up big numbers, and it seemed like the problem with you guys against the Vikings was your defense, and to go against another offensive powerhouse.
But are the Saints very good defensively?
They're better this year.
They are.
Yeah,
they're
better,
making
but
a
the Vikings are definitely a better defense than the Saints, and we dropped 30 on them easy. So.
Oh yeah, and you could have had more. There was a lot of missed opportunities too.
I mean, maybe I should be lower, but I'm not. The Vikings were beatable. They beat us, not the way I thought they would have beat us. But at the end of the day, you're telling me we dropped 30 points on a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, the Saints can score a lot, but so can we. So this is a little bit of overconfidence. I don't know, but I do think our defense is going to play a little bit better than they did this past week. I mean, they stepped up in the fourth quarter. It was just too late.
Yep,
so. Exactly.
And I have a quote. Jay Gruden even said himself, this is the worst the defense has ever played in the first half of a game since he's been with the Redskins, which has been since 2014. So that's 3 years, and this is the worst contest he's ever seen the defense play.
Right after they shut down, played Russell Wilson really well. So I think that had a lot to do with it. They were just feeling themselves a little bit.
I think Swearinger actually did say that. One of them said they came out with a big head and they just weren't ready to play off the bat.
To which I'm like, why? Why do you have a big hit off of 1 week? Didn't you say we have a nickname or something? That just says
flight marshals.
Yeah.
Flight marshals. I guess everything else is taken, right? Like no fly zone. That's like a classic.
They
that's
should not be
done.
nicknaming themselves. Case Keenum dropped
what
4 touchdowns?
Yeah, you lose your nickname when Case Keenum puts up 38 points on you.
Case Keenum playing with his 4th team in 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And we all saw how that went with the Rams last season. Comes in, has 4 touchdowns. I think there was 3 consecutive touchdown drives.
Yeah.
There was almost a 4th, and I think that's when Swearinger got his first pick of the day.
He threw picks. Almost had a pick 6. But to Keenum's defense, not to make him look good, but he did have Josh Fisher last year. You know, maybe he would be a lot better this year.
Right, that's the thing. He's looking actually really good. Like not just he had a fluke game, he got away with this
maybe
one.
the narrative of Keenum should change. You know, just saying. You know, we'll see.
I'm not coming around. He does have incredible wide receivers, though. I mean, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen.
Thielen is nice. Yeah.
Like they're ridiculous. And
they always kill us too.
If Dalvin Cook wasn't around, they would have these play. I mean, listen, Jerick McKinnon's a decent running back. I don't think he's a every down back, but Dalvin Cook would have been a nice bell cow for them. The line's better this year. I like Minnesota a lot. this I think is an
Well,
aberration.
Latavius Murray too, with the touchdown coming from the Raiders last year.
Latavius Murray.
You not in on
Not
it?
that high on him.
No.
Neither am I.
I'll
Okay.
actually give the Redskins a double-handed compliment right now that I think they've overperformed for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. Okay.
This week and last week they overperformed.
You think they were in a loss to Minnesota? They overperformed.
Yes.
In what way?
No, I thought that, I didn't expect them to do 30 points
Okay.
against a top-ranked defense.
Right.
I think it's interesting. The outlook on our team is like I look at the power rankings, and site to site is just very different. Some have us 18, some have us 11.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are ranking our early season performance against the Chiefs and the Raiders higher, and the people who are low on us look at our games against you guys as like really lowly. So they're 4-5. Played a pretty tough schedule. I don't know how to feel about them yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't know probably till the end of the season, but it's just very interesting from week to week, like what to expect from the Washington
Yeah,
Redskins.
and at week 10, you kind of think that you should have the idea. But it
Right.
seems like in the NFL the past few years, you can't really tell who's good until the playoffs start. Like, there's always a random team that sneaks in there. You're like, really? This team is in the playoffs? Like, if you actually watch their games and not just go off their records that maybe they snuck a few in, you wouldn't think that they belong there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the problem with an inconsistent team.
Yep.
Like, an inconsistent team should be a team that would scare a good team the
Right.
most, because you don't know. Like, the Redskins, you don't know what Redskins will show up.
Right.
Fortunately, the Eagles faced a consistently bad Redskins both times.
All right.
Laying it in.
Okay.
They got a compliment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're feeling real good this year.
Well,
I get it.
your defense definitely lacked this game. No surprise, the defenders even said it themselves. We do have a nice highlight. We want to give a shout out to Maurice
Gotta get
Harris.
Maurice Harris in there.
So nice. We're going to cue that up. The one-handed touchdown, some people dubbing it possible catch of the year. We'll take a look. Does it
see this.
compare
You
to
didn't
Oh,
see
we're
it?
going to have to take a look.
It looks like what
Josh.
Odell did to us last
And
year.
we're going to see if it's like an OBJ highlight reel here. Right?
That was better than the OBJ one.
Yeah.
Well, not the one against Dallas. The one the one DeAnjilo's talking about in Washington. Yeah.
I really like
I
this.
want people to know this is not his first career game. A lot of people were saying that.
Oh, yeah, not
It's
first
not his first
career.
career game. He wasn't a practice squad last week.
Yeah. For the record, so when people are listening, I'm not comparing that to the one against Dallas. I'm comparing one.
No, yeah, he had a really nice
Although
one.
Odell Beckham had a catch against the Washington Redskins.
That was a great catch.
Just like that.
That was a great catch.
That was
The
better.
offense- The offense was clicking. Like, it looked really good. That's another sign.
This was beautiful.
Wow, what a catch.
What a catch. And what also makes it so special, this wasn't his first career game, first game with the Skins this season.
Right.
He turned 25 a day before, and then he was told that he would be brought up from the practice squad onto the active roster.
What a catch.
First catch. This is his first catch of the season.
season.
It's a 36-yard touchdown on the Redskins' first offensive drive of the game to start it up. And it looked like things were going to go well, started up hot. Turned out not to be the case. I don't know how to put that
I
subtly.
feel bad if you didn't experience the same thing. A little bit more embarrassing.
Oh, snap.
Mine? No, mine
shots
was absolutely
I gotta go at
embarrassing.
somebody today. I can't get him, but I can go at you.
I'm too easy. I'm too easy. You're like,
Yeah, and that's just not fair.
it's like picking on a handicap kid if you grab me right now.
I gotta come at you. Plus, we got a
Nothing
game
can
coming
be
up.
said to you anymore. But that was a really good offensive show, and you said that you thought the offense played well, but there were a few times you guys tried to go for it on fourth down, got stuffed. You tried to run the same play twice to Chris Thompson.
Yeah,
Fell through.
It's just like my feelings towards the offense today. We could have put up 40 points. But when I say that, I'm like, is that a fair expectation to expect you have to put 40 points on to win?
Right.
They got to the red zone a couple times and settled for a field goal. Kirk Cousins threw a late first half interception that allowed the Vikings to score late in the half. But it just, I don't know. I'm not expecting Kirk Cousins to play A+, and that's actually what he would have had to do to win this game. And that is not a reflection of the Vikings playing really well. It's a reflection of the defense not playing well. And I feel like that's how all Redskins fans should feel after this game.
And also, I don't know if you caught this, the kicker for the Vikings. This was, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Kai Forbath.
Yeah, he
he
used to play
came
for
from
us.
the
Yeah, he
Redskins.
used to play for us.
And he was cut by the Redskins in week 1 of the 2015 season for being inconsistent.
Yes, because he sucked.
Because he sucks, but he makes a 53-yard kick in this
he
game
did.
to bring the lead to 38-27. But he never made a kick longer than 50
didn't.
yards
I knew he was going to make it.
during 3 years with the Skins. Not one longer than 50 yards.
That's very Redskins. It's
Josh
very
is
Redskins.
back in the studio.
my God.
And
When
he's
they-
not holding anything back. Which I don't know why he thinks he can talk
No,
it
it's
out.
funny. That's so Redskins. It is.
That's really funny. Come on,
It's-
that's
it's
funny.
very
That's hilarious.
I'd watch that show on the Disney Channel, by the way. That's so Redskins.
Oh.
That's a Redskins. It's a fourth quarter interception. The Look,
All right,
that's a
27-7.
pitch. We're laying that out there for you, Disney, ABC, if you want to pick it up.
That sounds kind of racist, though.
That doesn't sound. It is racist.
But that's the Washington
That's
team.
all.
Oh my
just
God,
doesn't
that's such
sound
a-
the same.
That is,
God.
that is
Move
not
on,
good.
guys.
Oh my God.
And not to beat up on the Redskins defense too much, they did make a little bit of a turnaround. Actually, only kind of Swearinger did. He was here.
We got
We
two
had
picks.
2 picks. We got one of them. We'll get that queued up. Was a pick almost 6.
Yes.
Almost
And
six.
I don't know what he was doing there.
Right, running with the ball like out to here,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was weird.
fumbled but out of bounds, so that worked out.
Yeah, I thought
Luckily.
it was gonna be a touchback. I really did. I was thinking pretty lowly around the fourth quarter, but
Yeah.
you know.
And we got it. Case Keenum, 2 picks in the day. Both
That's the
playing
case. That's the case.
He started to show up. I was like, that looks familiar.
Beautiful. I feel like that was more Swearinger's read than Case Keenum messing it up. I mean, he was just passing it to his boy Kyle Rudolph.
He was
Yeah, he beeline right
terrible.
there.
Yeah, that was an awful read. I don't know why he did it.
This is the what is he doing?
Right? He's running with it like
But
wide
shout out
out.
to Case Keenum on the hustle, man. I'm telling you.
True.
Yeah. It always frustrates me when people run for the house like that with the ball in one hand.
Yeah.
He's
And like
feeling
it's clear,
himself.
yeah, and it's clearly,
That was his second pick too, so he's feeling good.
Yeah.
but that's clearly someone who isn't a running back or a wide receiver, like someone who carries the ball on a daily
Or
basis.
like dive. You didn't see him diving towards you.
But this
Maybe he
leads to the
Yeah.
to that.
pick. Oh, sorry, pick. I meant to say Kirk, but
Yeah.
I'm too. It's associate Kirk with pick too often.
Oh.
But that one was too easy. I actually don't. I'm a big Kirk fan. I do.
He played pretty well.
I'm very, very defensive of Kirk. I think that people are too
Played
hard
well
on
today.
him.
He played very well. The receivers played well. All of the
Yeah.
criticisms I have on offense are not on low today. Like
And
they
also,
played really well.
your defense really needed to support you guys. Also, you
A little
can't-
bit.
Yeah.
You got 30 points. You
Yeah.
get like 2 stops on
exactly.
defense.
It's got to be a full force effort.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't have to milk this game.
Alrighty.
I'm ready to move on.
Yep. So that's 5 straight.
Talk about the Giants.
You wanna?
Yeah, since we're laughing over there. Yeah.
Did we? Okay, we all knew that the Giants were gonna lose.
We all picked the Giants.
This was all consensus.
We all picked the 49ers,
I think
which is
Josh knew
embarrassing
that.
in itself.
We picked a team that didn't win a game all season.
Yeah,
The
it's
Giants.
a little embarrassing.
But did we think that the Giants were gonna lose 31?
I said they were getting blown out.
No, honestly, I mean, they scored that touchdown in the.
Nice
it was a
little
lot
garbage
worse than
time.
the score indicated. No, I didn't think it would be that bad. But, judging off of their performance against the Rams, you could tell the defense gave. I thought the defense put together a nice effort for 3 quarters and then just kind of.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
It's the 49ers.
No, they
Let's
did.
put that out
They
there.
did. They put up. They tried.
Well,
Olivier
Marissa-
Vernon had an
This is an
interception.
elite defense. They shouldn't have to try. against the
DeAnjilo.
49ers.
DeAnjilo.
Come on, last year was. I
Well,
mean,
if
how the
Marissa
tall
can hear
have
me in the
fallen.
booth, let's
Yeah.
pull up that Selleck touchdown. I don't know if this. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of quitting on
this
this
might be
play.
the good one.
This
Oh,
was the-
sorry, this is a good one. We're gonna start
Yeah,
with
Jonathan
Marquise
Casillas
Goodwin
gets beat.
touchdown.
How the tall has fallen.
Oh, this is.
Beat
This
him.
is a
Do you know
great
the story
though.
behind this?
This is a great story.
Yes, this
Okay.
is a great story. This is very sad, so we definitely want to give a shout out and prayers to Marquise Goodwin. This touchdown was scored the day that his wife lost their baby prematurely in the hospital.
Lord.
So this was very special, and
Great for the Giants to give out gifts, you know?
Really?
Spirit.
so
know, when it
They
Beautiful.
obviously knew because they weren't trying.
I wanted to bring that up mostly for that missed tackle there. You're telling me, was that Jenkins again?
I think he knew.
Like, you're telling me that he's not good enough to make that tackle?
Got
He
a heart.
really
Great heart, man.
hasn't.
Great heart.
So he gets the Academy Award for that.
So you don't think he was trying?
Hopefully not. Was he? You told me.
I'm gonna go hard. No effort was given on that play.
I'm more mad at the Selleck touchdown. Casillas, the linebacker, jogged after him. He got beat over the
Yes.
middle and then just lollygagged after him.
Oh, and don't you
and
worry,
then, and then
we
the
have
angle,
that
I
for
think,
you.
I forgot who the safety was, but the angle that the safety took was awful, and then didn't even try to tackle him. It was just. What's
Why is Ben
rolling?
McAdoo still a head coach? That was part of
Because
my
head coaches
decision.
don't get fired till the end of December.
Okay, so here we
What,
are.
what is that tag?
He should be
That
fired.
is-
He should be
no,
fired
the-
for that alone.
That is not
That is egregious.
Rob Gronkowski. That is not Travis Kelce. That's not even their starting tight end, right? Selleck is not even their starting tight end anymore.
I
Like,
love how you started.
he's not even the best Selleck in the family.
He's not.
He's not the
Like,
best seller.
look at this. He gets beat. Okay, you got beat. But watch. Look how
He-
slow
he-
down.
No.
You think he thought he was gonna get blocked? That's what it was.
I think he was either worried he was going to get blocked or he backpedals thinking he going for a hit wouldn't look in front of him.
Guys,
It's Ben
they're not
McAdoo's fault.
trying.
No, they're not trying.
No, I'm with
Yeah.
you. They're not trying. I'm just saying what was going through his head was I don't
Boom.
want to run into that part.
Yeah.
And I
This
think
is
that's
not a good
acting.
movie.
Selleck
This is
has no
acting.
juke. He has
was
his
no
juke.
juke there.
His juke rating
He
on
took a
Madden
horrible
is a
angle.
17. Like there's no reason why he should be
This is
juking like
depressing.
He
that.
probably could have walked from whatever yard line it was that he caught that. What are we going to say? The 40-30?
Yeah.
And that would have still been a touchdown if
That
he
was-
just took a nice little walk in the park.
Hey, not as embarrassing as allowing a touchdown on 3rd and 33.
Let's come on.
Oh,
But
That-
that was
that-
another
did that too.
Giants thing.
The worst play of the season. That's
So if you don't think that they're throwing this season, you got to be crazy. I want to read a text from Jocinda Anderson, who is an ESPN
I like
insider. She
Jocinda. She's
covers the
dope.
Giants a lot.
Yeah.
She tweeted
Poor
out
girl.
that she got a text. So this is from a Giants source. So I'm assuming a player or maybe somebody higher up in the front office. From a Giants source on the loss to San Francisco, who this source predicted the probability of this result the night before, and the text said, "Tried to warn you." Predicted the loss. If your team, how do you say, yeah, you know, I think we're going to lose tomorrow? What
why
athlete,
didn't
what professional?
Jocinda go to Vegas and throw everything on the Niners?
She doesn't even have to go to Vegas. A VPN and some European sports books. Like, hit me up, Jacinda, if you don't know how to make that happen. I will help.
I mean, the line had to be pretty close. It wasn't like the
well, I can look
Giants
at the
were
line on
highly
it.
favored.
No,
But if it's
You're
a
also on the
sure bet,
road.
if the team is literally going to
Looking
throw
up
the
the line.
game.
Put all the money on them.
Yeah, so
The
this is
49ers might have been favored. They were at home.
Oh, no, they're
the
absolutely
Giants are
favored.
favored by 3.
What?
no way.
Oh, yeah, Josina.
What?
You slacking, girl. You slacking.
Well, I don't know if you're allowed to bet as an
Whatever.
ESPN insider.
Well,
Whatever.
also,
Just use a
no,
different
no,
name.
Well,
Who cares?
no, in Vegas, you're probably not because you're pretty close. I
Really?
guess as an ESPN insider, I'm sure.
That makes sense. You probably know something.
She
But
wouldn't
as
have
a
been able to
member,
report it.
But as a member of the team, you're probably not legally allowed. But at the same time, if you're setting up a VPN and just going on a European sports book, you're breaking the law just by doing that. So let's go.
But
Like,
the fact of the matter, I'm predicting my team that I play for is going to lose tomorrow, and I tried to warn you this was going to happen.
that is Pete Rose level. That is-
That's what I'm saying. They're just not trying anymore. We do what they did, you know, offense, surprisingly, offense has not been the Giants' strong suit at all this year, but they kind of were the best looking part of this game.
That's not saying much.
I mean, they played the 49ers.
I could use some cash. Do I know any New York Giants? I need to get in on this.
Who
We
do
do
they have
have
next week?
a sick catch by Sterling Shepard that we want to
Sterling
throw
played
up
well.
there.
Sterling
Another
played well.
one-hander.
I thought Darkwa played well. I thought the line played a little better. Not saying much. They got to get Davis Webb in the game. I mean, Eli, at this point, he's not the future. You drafted a quarterback.
So here's Sterling
You know,
Shepard.
it's a
Bam!
respect.
Oh!
I feel like
That
it's a
was
respect
pretty
thing,
nice,
though.
man.
That's why they can't bench him. They get
but-
if you're getting blown out, you can bring him in relief, but you can't bench Eli.
I
man.
get what
It's
you're saying, but you
disrespectful.
have to see what you have. And you're going to get a top 2 pick right now, unless you start winning, which would be ridiculous.
be a poor
so
choice,
that's
too.
either Darnold or that's either Rosen. You're drafting a quarterback.
Okay,
Or
quarterback first, then lineman.
You might get a running back.
Yeah.
I think
Barkley?
Darkwa might be okay if there's a better line in front of him.
Dark was okay. I don't. The running back position to me is like the last time we won the Super Bowl, they were last in rushing. So to
Yeah.
me, that's as long as the line's fine.
I think you guys are worrying about the wrong position first. I think quarterback you need to worry about second.
I don't know,
You need to
man.
worry about coach first.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Fair.
can address both
Fair.
of those at the same time.
Okay, while we're on the subject, thank you, Steve. Everyone's on the fire McAdoo train. Are
Gotta
you?
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
But-
I am not the one to like hop on those type of bandwagons. I'm like very forgiving of coaches, but when your team plays like this, and let's not pretend like the Giants didn't have Super Bowl aspirations, like Super Bowl aspirations.
They were in the playoffs last
Yeah,
year.
11-5 record.
Ha.
11.
Hey, you laughed at my kick.
Nah,
I
you're
can
right.
laugh
You're,
at you.
you're right. You're right. So like
That's why
I
we're
don't
all
know,
here.
and it's obvious that the team, especially the defense, something with the defense. I don't know what it is, but they don't like him. The offense doesn't really say much about
They're
him.
getting suspended every other
Yeah,
week.
and then Eli,
Their
he threw
players.
Eli under the bus a couple times earlier this year. It's just not, the vibe is just not there.
I mean, I don't know if his track record. I mean, I'm no
He's been a
NFL
coordinator.
expert. I've never
He's
been
their
a
offensive
coach,
coordinator.
right? But it didn't seem like he had the resume to really take a head
Eli liked him a
coaching
lot.
job.
Eli,
He was
like,
OC
what happened
for
was
1
he
year.
was the OC for Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers made him look good. So then he came to the Giants, and actually Eli for the first 2 years had career numbers with McAdoo as his offensive coordinator.
yeah.
So they thought, okay, well, since he had career numbers with McAdoo, we might as well make him the head coach, and it just didn't translate. I don't know why. I mean, I think part of it's the line stinks. Eli's getting older.
And he might not be a football mastermind, which
Right.
in this league is what it takes to be a successful head
And
coach.
who's a football master? Oh, I thought you were talking about quarterbacks. I'm like, who's a football mastermind? Carson Wentz, year 2?
You're putting those words in my mouth. I wasn't even saying that. I was saying
kidding.
to be a head coach in a successful head coach in the NFL, you can't, like, if you're an amazing delegator and you coach like a general manager like Andy Reid, you can do pretty well. Or you have to be Bill Belichick. You have to be a football mastermind.
Or know your strengths and weaknesses like McVay has done.
Yeah,
you know what I
McVay's
mean?
done really well.
It's just a different responsibility from offensive coordinator to head coach. You have to manage personalities, and that's what he's struggling
That's
with.
why I was almost wondering if everybody is completely 100% let's fire McAdoo, but it is only his second year. And like you said, 11-5 last year, postseason run last year. But it does seem like he has some kind of bad relationship with the players.
He's lost the team.
There's toxicity in the team that like mutinous toxicity toward him that you can't do that. I do compare this to Andy Reid similarly, that there was a point with Andy Reid that it was very clear that either Donovan McNabb's going or Andy Reid's going. And then Donovan McNabb went.
Dang.
And then Andy Reid stayed on for a couple more seasons before Andy Reid went. And then that's how it went down. But the reason they sided with Andy Reid over Donovan McNabb in that instance was McNabb could go somewhere, make a bunch more money, and then come back and retire an Eagle and be an insider on the NFL Network. But Andy Reid had a proven track record of postseason success that they're like, we should stick with him a couple more years.
And head coaches are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Once you found your one that fits your team, that's your guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just more shed lights on the whole Tom Coughlin thing too in my eyes. Like, this kind of like makes it look a little better for him. He's went to Jacksonville.
Yep.
And they fired him and tried to blame it on him, the struggles of last season. So I think, and y'all made the playoffs last year. So you know,
The NFL is so like sacrificing of their coaches. You know,
You gotta
like,
blame somebody.
crucify
Unforgiving.
them.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Unforgiving.
so unforgiving.
so
All I have to say about that is Eli to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
Wait,
not?
we're really talking about it now? This
I
is
mean,
a joke.
no, this was never a joke on this side of the table.
I mean,
were always
honestly, like,
yes,
Eli's not the future.
get that money, Eli.
Eli's not the future. They got to blow up the team. And if you're going to blow up the team, you might as well blow everything up. It makes no sense having... I love Eli. I'm a huge Eli fan, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to keep him. It doesn't. It doesn't even make sense to start him next week.
You don't blow up Odell Beckham?
No, he's part of the future.
Okay.
He's young. He's
So
young. He
He
can still
brings some
go. He
drama,
needs to
though. He brings a little...
Yeah, but he's too good of a talent to... He's way too good. And let's be honest, in sports, if you are better than the drama you create, you're being kept.
Okay.
I don't think you should overreact to the season either. Like,
No,
next
I'm
year.
completely overreacting.
I mean, the defense. I mean, I don't know.
Not to.
I feel
right?
it, but the defense was really good last year. I don't think
But
that
I
just
don't know
disappears.
how many players are going to be back. Like I
Yeah.
got to look at the contracts, which is something I should do.
But no,
for
but
next
that's
week.
why.
Yeah.
But that's why they fire head coaches right around the same week in December every year, so that when it comes time for players to renegotiate, they know who they're working for.
Exactly.
So that if you fire McAdoo and you pick somebody up that the defense would get behind, a lot of those guys might stay.
Right. He's gone next year. Matthews, and then the GM is
gotta go.
I thought it was gone after
gotta go,
49ers, but
I think-
apparently Giants don't fire coaches halfway through the season, is what they said.
Most
Is
people
what they
gotta
said.
go.
Well, no. Traditionally, you don't fire coaches halfway
Yeah,
through
he's
the
gotta
season.
And they're also talking about firing Jerry Reese, who's the GM. So
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
has
there's-
taken
it's time.
responsibility
It's
fully.
time.
and I think what Josh means by blow it all up, I think you mean
Right.
head coach, maybe whoever's loyal to McAdoo, Eli Manning, and like
His
some other
loyal
folks on the,
followers.
and like I don't think you're advocating like fire like a 20-30 person
No,
fire.
no.
Like you mean like these 3 or 4 people up top need to go.
yeah, change your whole identity.
To show
I mean, they
a
didn't
different
change
leadership.
anything last year other than firing Tom Coughlin. It's the same crew for the most part. Am I wrong in saying that?
Wait, going into last year?
From this past
Coughlin
offseason
to-
to now, this is the similar staff, right?
Besides the receivers being healthy the
Yeah.
whole
I mean,
year.
well, they brought in Brandon Marshall, thinking that he's gonna be like a
Didn't
red
do
zone target.
anything.
They didn't improve the line.
I mean, staff-wise, coaching.
Oh, yeah,
staff.
they're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah, they might
change it up.
to blow it up. You should start at the top, and the top is actually
Right.
the coaching staff,
right.
and then the quarterback, then the running
Right,
back.
and the GM as well, because he picks the players.
Yeah.
Which is,
Well, yeah, and the front office
Yeah.
is where you need to start.
I don't want to miss the
Right.
Cowboys. We got to talk about that.
We're-
Great game. Come on now. All right,
front
I know you.
offices.
I know you
Jenna's
wanna
milking the
stay
clock.
here. No.
She's milking the clock. She's
How
like,
about them
we got
Cowboys?
17
Come on
minutes.
now.
I honestly,
We don't have
if
time.
you guys
We need to
want,
limit we need the
We can
limit.
skip to the
Steve's
Eagles.
gloating.
No, we can totally skip over this game.
How
'cause I
about
have
No.
baby?
I'm
I
pulling
have
up the
no
stats. I'm pulling up the
interest.
stats.
Oh, I got some stats for you.
27.
I got some stats. Marissa, you can just go ahead and press play.
Let's just get that
I
ISO
wanna
shot
see
of
this
Dak
montage.
crying
Oh my
after he got
god, you can
sacked
go ahead
8
and press
times.
play on this because it goes for 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
him?
yes.
This is Dak Prescott getting sacked
That
8
highly coveted
times.
offensive line.
This
Boom.
has got
that's
to
Poor
be
guy, because I like him.
a single game high of sacks allowed in any Cowboys game.
I started in
Definitely
my-
this season, but
Yeah.
no, this is
No.
8 sacks.
8
I
sacks.
started him in my
8
fantasy
one
football
game.
league, and he's the reason I didn't win this week. And I'm still
And
really
face
happy to
mask.
see this.
Face
That was a
mask
face mask.
completely.
No,
So
he just touched his eye.
Big Bad Beast Adrian Claiborne, who a defensive lineman for the Falcons.
Boom.
Oh, he's great today.
He had 2 sacks going into this game, left with 8. He had 6 total this
He had
game.
6 sacks.
He had 6 sacks in one game. Look at poor
One game of the
Prescott getting
NFL.
absolutely destroyed. I don't even
Oh, we are. We are.
No.
I'm enjoying it. This is great.
This is wonderful.
How about them Cowboys?
No.
How about them Cowboys?
I don't like
That's
looking
a
at
covered
this.
sack.
This is so upsetting. This is
So-
depressing. So,
Remember we were here last week and we were talking about, well, maybe it wouldn't be that bad if Zeke wasn't in that.
Listen,
Like,
it's
they
not
clearly
Zeke.
have planned. Well, it clearly is that.
it's not. You want to know why?
Okay, go on. I
Because
think.
our 4-time Pro Bowl left tackle,
I think
Tyron
that had
Smith,
everything
is
to do with
out.
it,
That
yeah.
is
I think
everything.
that had everything to do with it.
They're
This
not
is-
even
but
blitzing.
This is far less
protecting
to Zeke.
Dak's blindside.
I
Is
agree, too.
Tyron Smith is gone. It's very concerning to me that missing one man destroys
got
our
me.
entire offensive line
God.
and our entire
Oh,
offensive
yeah.
play.
Well, your left tackle is going to be usually your best offensive lineman, too.
One guy's out, the whole
Yeah.
line falls
Yeah, they're
apart.
not even blitzing.
I
This is
I
fine.
feel like this has a lot less to do with Zeke than the fact that he was out.
I think it's a combination of both because I think it's a forward progress thing. He has to come back to throw the ball forward,
Well-
and missing a left tackle, missing his blind spot, he gets hit a bunch.
Hey, another
God,
face mask.
poor
There's a whole lot of face masks
Just touched
happening.
his eye
Like,
again. That's
I'm
all.
like, I cannot believe this is still going. This is how real this is.
How long is he out?
They're not even.
Tyron Smith, so also Sean
probably
Lee
coming back next
left
week.
this game with an injury.
That hurts
Shocker,
a
poor
lot.
little fragile Sean Lee, so that we were missing him on defense. But Jerry Jones went on the radio today on The Fan and said Tyron Smith is more likely to play this Sunday against the Eagles than Sean Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, no. Wow, was it Sean Lee? Wait.
We'll look it up.
No, I'm kidding.
I tell you what, if I was Terrence Smith, I'd be calling the agent, the front office, renegotiating my contract right
Well,
now.
they did. They
Right
gave him
now.
like some crazy contract extension going in 2 seasons ago. He's only 26.
I want more money.
4-time Pro Bowler.
oh yeah.
I just
But
want
the
more
thing
money.
is, this is not that freak for him to get injured. He's battled back and neck injuries his entire career, and now this game left with a groin injury. So that's concerning for us too, that our replacement, Chaz Green, obviously is not ready
Yeah.
and is not doing the sufficient job that he needs to. And poor Dak is left to dry with 8 sacks. Back to your point, Steve, though, about missing Zeke. I don't want it to become a just missing Zeke thing because I think Tyron Smith was the big miss this week. And also, the play calling was never in favor of the run. They gave Alfred Morris 11 carries, 11 attempts. Zeke had 33 against the Redskins. How does that, like, even in comparison?
Well,
Darren McFadden had 1. This should be their number 2 back, and he had 1. So, like, no rushing plays. I'm shocked that we even got 107 yards
Maybe
this
they
game.
don't have a lot of
running.
confidence
I
in
mean,
those
just
guys.
looking at those
This
highlights.
so this is a funny photo I grabbed from the NFL Fox Instagram. It takes a second to
I was
set
like,
in,
wait,
right?
what?
Because it just looks
Something's
like
missing.
an offense and defense professional football team
what
lining
it
up
looked like.
on the line of scrimmage. This is what it looked like on Sunday.
The way I judge like an offensive line's performance, I look at the defense, and if they're blitzing, then sometimes it's might be the running back not picking it up, or they're just getting just too many people going through the line. But in all those sacks, they were just rushing 4. They weren't blitzing. It was just the line getting beat. And to your point with them running the football, I don't think they would have ran the ball successfully the way that line was playing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how.
I think it would have been. I think it would have if they had Zeke and were
Yeah.
running and had a game plan for Zeke.
Yeah.
They would have not done as poorly.
I mean, again, on
What
the
was-
attempts, Alfred, he had...
It wouldn't have been a blowout.
He got going in the second half
He
too, a
got
little bit.
going. He
Yeah.
had a long of, I think, 20 yards at
Yeah, he got
least,
going a
and
little
Rod
bit.
Smith had a long of 12.
Yep.
It could have happened. They didn't really give it enough of a shot.
got down.
And sure, maybe the holes were not there for the run game, but neither was the passing game because there was no pass protection. And I think the receivers were so well covered. So many incompletions. I think Dak threw like 20 out of 30. It just was not a good showing offensively at all. And this was brutal to watch, and I left fourth quarter.
I'm disappointed too. I wanted you guys to play well so that next week against Philly. But if the offensive line is an issue and you got the Eagles D line coming up, it's not very promising at all.
With this showing, I don't feel confident going to the Eagles. When I did, I was hyped. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good about the Eagles. Like, we're gonna be the one to do this. We're gonna snap their win streak. If this is what it's gonna look like, there is no shot against your guys' defense. Come on.
See though. You know, that division matchups, anything can happen.
That's a very good point. Yes, I do agree with that.
And it's in Dallas.
In Dallas, but again, Sean Lee might be missing Tyron Smith. We're still missing our OG Dan Bailey, who you don't realize how clutch field goals are until you have Mike Nugent kicking. And he missed a 30-yarder that could have helped close the gap. A 30-yarder, like
Extra points aren't a
Dan
guarantee
Bailey
with him.
makes 56-yarders. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, blame can be kind of scattered throughout. The defense, it started off pretty well.
They aren't bad. I mean, when you're on the field that
when you're on the field that long,
Yeah.
exactly. But I was actually surprised by the time of possession. It was a lot more even than I thought.
Oh,
I would say
it didn't
just
feel like
watching this game, it
Yeah.
felt like the defense was on 90% of this game. So how much can you really take from them? And they held Matt Ryan to less than 220 passing yards for the first time since 2013. They had a pick. They had 9 tackles for a loss. So you know what? They did their job at least, and the offense couldn't compensate. 7 points, and one was a Dak rushing touchdown.
Now, how much do you think is on Dak?
Given this offensive line, I don't think a lot of it.
Okay.
Of course, there was some bad incompletions through a few shady passes, which has been a little bit of a concern of mine. Every time I watch Dak, I get a little nervous when he's going to go make a deep throw or spread it out to the receivers. But I think this all comes down to the offensive line. Look at how much he's getting hit. He doesn't have any time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to be able to assess the situation, read your options. He doesn't have that this game.
But how do you feel like how do you feel about like playoffs going forward? I mean, assuming you don't get the division.
I'm not gonna push the panic button.
Okay. I
That
don't think you
annoying phrase that everybody gives in
No
football.
Sean Lee, no Zeke.
Okay, yes. Listen, this showing hurts a lot, especially that it's against the Falcons. Like, we just came off such a good game against the Chiefs, and the Falcons 4-4. Like, 4 of their 5 last games were losses. Come on, to make them look like Super Bowl bound Falcons again was really bad.
The Falcons have looked really bad the past couple weeks. I'm actually shocked that they
Right.
I mean, even without Zeke, listen, I understand Zeke's a weapon, but Alfred Morris is no slouch. I mean, you know that, DeAnjilo. He was a Redskin. He was very good for you guys. And then,
Exactly.
you know,
McFadden's had a 1,000-yard season with you guys.
Yeah, and then
Everybody loves Rod Smith.
and I think Dak's a top 10 quarterback in this league. So I mean, you should get it done.
I don't know what the disconnect is between that.
It was a line. It was a line.
Oh, I do have an
can't do anything
Alfred
about it.
Morris. Wait,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the
Him
Alfred
getting carried.
Morris.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we do have a first down by Alf. One of the times we saw him take a snap on Sunday. This
The
I had
offense
to
started
throw
off
it in
really
there
well.
for comic relief because we were down 17-7, and honestly, me, my family, my mom, my sister, my boyfriend, we cracked up at
His
this.
legs are just up and
One
just pushing
leg.
him.
Beast.
Alfred,
Beast.
he had to get.
That is amazing.
Biggest effort the offensive
They
line
should
put
have never
together
even
all
called
night.
that. They should have let them keep
There's
going.
like 11 people carrying this dude.
Why
It
would you
was funny.
stop him?
That moment when you have to carry Alfred Morris to a first down.
Where stop the motion literally means pick their feet up off the
I
ground.
love this. This was hilarious. A little bit of comic relief in a terrible game tonight. So our 3-game win streak is snapped, but like I said, I'm not going to give up. There's still plenty of football. We're still in the wild card hunt. We're behind
Carolina and Seattle.
Carolina. Yes, we're also behind the Falcons now,
yeah,
apparently.
you lost
I
that.
looked it up today, which was great. Let them back in. I know
Yeah.
they were completely out of it
don't worry
until
about
we
them.
decided to lose to
Don't worry
them.
about them. You got
Falcons, Lions, and Packers, which is not like a good lineup to be behind in the wild card hunt because none of them should really.
You got you tried with Detroit and Green Bay.
And the Panthers.
Yeah.
Green Bay's
Panthers-
gone.
Well, the Panthers are in the wild card, like are
Or,
in the playoffs right
I
now.
mean,
if
we
it started
still have a
today.
winning record. We're still in the hunt. I got spoiled off last season, I guess. You can't go 11-1 every season and then 13-3 people. Like, we're still in it, you know. I can't give up yet.
The NFC wildcard situation is tight. It's really tight. I
real
think
tight.
he might have to win 10 this year with Carolina and Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high on both of those teams, so I think it's gonna be really, really tough
Well,
to get to wild card this year.
Zeke
Yeah.
is going to be out for the Eagles, Chargers, Skins, Giants, and Raiders.
No Zeke.
Yeah, I think this loss pretty much solidified they're not winning the division. Because I
Yeah.
think you can
Oh,
you
that
can make a
was-
case for them
Oh.
6-3, like
I
you know, going
couldn't-
in.
yeah, I was-
They
that's
beat,
why
they
I
beat
cared.
Philadelphia, and then
Yeah.
they're 7-3, and Philly
Yeah.
set 7. You can make a case that okay, Dallas wins the division.
Yeah, they
but
were
this is-
6-4 right now, looking good.
Yeah.
Heading into this next matchup,
That would've been a great
against
matchup.
the 8-1
Yeah.
division leaders. You could make the point of, oh, this is for a chance at them to stay relevant in the division.
Yeah.
They're 5-4 up against an 8-1 behemoth. and like don't look great.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
hope we
guys.
do
I
this
mean,
show
but
next
even
year.
if they win, it doesn't matter. I mean, the Eagles are still 2 games up.
Dear God, this
Yeah.
is absurd. This is getting absurd.
Behemoth.
Is it that
But
absurd
even this is where
though?
we're
Coming
at.
from
Oh
a guy
my
wearing
God.
an Eagles.
You're right. You're right.
Let us
still-
have our time. We usually don't.
They still got to play the Giants.
minimizing
They
your
still
time
have to play
there.
the Giants. Going against that
But-
juggernaut.
So, our Christmas present for us Cowboys fan, if it matters for us at all at this point, will be Zeke coming back on Christmas Eve against Seattle. So that's his next game up after this
Might be too late by then.
Yeah.
That'd be too late.
I think Sean Lee hurt you more than Zeke hurt you.
I think Tyron Smith is
Yeah.
That too.
number
If we had
one.
to rank them, that's number
Tyron
one.
Smith, probably Sean Lee, and
Then
then
Zeke,
Zeke.
yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, first week without Zeke, obviously you lost. No, it doesn't come down to him. Like everything else we named is
But I
obviously
think changing the
more
play,
crucial.
abandoning the run. Abandoning the
Yes.
run is part of
You're
what
right, yeah.
failed.
They changed- they
What
changed
you
their
were
game
saying
plan.
that like Alfred Morris might have been able to fill Zeke's shoes. They never gave him a chance to.
Exactly.
Right. And when you're O-line struggling, that's what you do. You run the ball. You don't have
Exactly,
him
like-
drop back.
Yeah, you don't put your top 10 quarterback in the line of
Yeah.
fire
Come on,
20 times.
Garrett
Like,
Linehan,
Get it
listen
together,
to our
guys.
podcast. We got, we got
We obviously know what we're talking about. Come on.
clearly.
I coach like a 3-time Super Bowl winning team. All right, so it's hard to be positive going into the next one against the Eagles.
The behemoth.
The
The
behemoth.
behemoth Philadelphia Eagles.
So,
goodness.
Eagles got the Cowboys, Bears, Seattle, Rams, Giants, Raiders coming up. Will they lose? If so,
Yes.
to whom?
Yeah,
Seattle.
definitely
If they
You
lose,
think so?
if they lose to Seattle and or the Giants Raiders because those games won't matter.
All right, don't write out the Rams, bro. And you're on the road.
Oh, I'm gonna be at that game. That
Oh,
game.
Oh, I almost.
We should
yeah.
I'm worried.
We should go. We should do a live podcast.
Could we please? I'm worried that as someone who wants to attend, as someone who is attending that game, I'm worried that game will mean nothing.
Yeah, it'll be too late.
Because if
You
we
guys
beat,
are going to be sitting,
Could be
like
for home
Nick
field.
Foles is going to
it
begin
could
at
be, yeah, like
starting
it could be for,
quarterback.
it would either be for a 1 seed or we'll have already locked that up. That comes down to the Seahawks game.
Okay.
We'll see.
Because
So,
That's
you're
what
still
my
playing.
question was too. When do you guys clinch playoff berth? Because
You're
it's
still playing.
obviously happening.
A win against the Cowboys and then a Redskins and Giants loss next week, I think we do.
The Giants, the Giants are done.
I know, but like what I'm
Mathematically, so.
talking mathematically how we can
Yeah.
clinch a playoff berth. A couple other NFC losses
okay.
next week and us beating the Cowboys, and then 2 NFC East losses. Like we could just about clinch it next week. If not, the Bears the week after that,
Jeez.
we could clinch. We're doing a playoff berth versus a number 1 seed. We're gonna clinch a playoff berth kind of early, because we.
Cowboys, man, come on, boys. Next week.
I mean, I do also want to say, from a betting perspective, I would not get involved in this Cowboys Eagles business because you said
anything
it was.
could happen.
You said it was Eagles by 3.
Yeah.
That's too small.
That's very close.
That's very close, and it's a divisional game. Like
On the road.
One of the on the road. Like
Off
one
a
of
bye
the
week.
one of the things I don't like to get involved in betting wise are divisional matchups like this.
Yeah.
The Cowboys could have a chip
yeah,
on their
I stay away from
shoulder.
that.
They should have a chip on their shoulder.
They really like that. This might be a thing that comes down. But if we can beat the Cowboys and the Bears, we could afford to lose to the Seahawks. And then we shouldn't sleep on the Rams. The Rams are very good this
Well,
year.
your home field situation is not necessarily solidified. The Minnesota Vikings, New
Yeah.
Orleans Saints, and the Rams are 7-2, meaning only a game back behind you. So you got to keep pace with
The
them
Eagles
as
are going to
well.
be playing to at least week 16.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eagles, classy as always. Lane Johnson on the says, my whole family is from Texas. Grandma was rooting for Dallas in the playoffs last season. I said jokingly, if you want to see 75, you better shut your mouth.
Oh my God.
Oh, good old Philly.
So
Wow.
good, Philly. This is a little
I'm sorry, that's a Texan thing. That's
heartfelt trash talk before the divisional game
shut your
next week.
mouth.
You better shut your mouth,
Wow.
Grandma, if you want to see 75.
Grandma, shut your trap, Grandma. Abuela.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
I want
He-
that on my team.
Right.
Yeah, I want it.
He fits. He fits right in.
Yeah.
Fits right,
Yes,
because you
he
said he's
does.
a Texan, so like
Yeah.
he needs to earn some of that street cred. He
Okay.
just did right there. that fits in.
Some of the Philly cred. Oh,
That's
it definitely fits in there.
That's some Boo Santa Claus level
Do
savage.
you have any concerns going into the Cowboys? Any last thoughts?
Division matchups, I'm always concerned. The Cowboys aren't a team to sleep on either. As much as like I'm bred to just not like them, I do understand that they could beat us next week. It's not that far off. Like that's not a ridiculous prediction that they would beat us this week. I obviously don't see it, especially after what we just saw
Okay.
against the Falcons, who are not like not a top tier team like that. Like
Shouldn't have looked the way that they looked.
Yes,
pretty
like
much.
they
We
made them look good.
much better than they are.
I think one concern I did note in the hallway that I should mention now is the Eagles look untested, and that's not because they aren't tested. It's that most of their wins have been so definitive that they look untested.
That's true. I mean, they did play the Panthers in Carolina, who's they're a wild card team right now.
Mm-hmm.
They slaughtered them.
Yeah.
And like the Broncos as well.
Early
Like,
on, though. The
I'm
Panthers, yeah.
totally sleeping on the Panthers. I think their record makes them look way
Yeah,
better
I don't
than
like
they are.
that.
I know
Well, in
they
their
blew
division,
out
I'm with-
Miami last night, but so did Baltimore.
I'm with you
so-
on that, Jenna.
their division makes them look rough because
Yeah,
like
like
7-3 under the Saints. Like who
Yeah.
that's a weird top heavy division.
That's why the Eagles' schedule, I do have to say, hasn't been the hardest. Giants, Chargers, Cardinals, Panthers, 49ers, Skins, Broncos, all wins. One loss to the Chiefs, the best team that they played.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're putting up skyrocket numbers against teams that they have the ability to do that, and they're not falling short, which is a test, too.
This isn't a must-win for you guys either. Not really. I mean, you'd like to win. Of
course we-
not to.
Every
mean-
division game is a
Yeah.
must-win.
I mean, I think the
Just
Eagles
for
they settled the
rivalry.
division already, but if they win next week, without a doubt.
What, I mean, you guys
Yeah.
think they're going 15-1?
No.
13-3.
No.
You're losing 2 more
They'll
games.
lose.
I want
They'll
them to
lose.
all
You're
of
gonna lose
their
2 more games.
Between
It
Dallas,
could be
Seattle,
against
and Los Angeles, they might lose 2.
Yeah, lose to the Raiders.
Like I said,
The Rams
that
could be a
that
nice
could be a
shootout.
playoff game for the Raiders for all we know.
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, the Giants and Raiders hopefully should not matter.
Right.
I'm saying we make it to 11.
Or Davis Webb is playing in that game and he's a freaking MVP.
We make it to 11 before December 10th, or we make it to 11th by December 10th, and that is.
Well, there's our
We have a
alarm.
buzzer?
We have a buzzer.
Oh my god.
We're gonna wrap it up for tonight then. Thank you all so much for tuning in, Steve.
Oh, we didn't even
See,
pick.
that is my Stop the Philly fan buzzer.
Too much.
Too much. NFC East reactions and updates here on AfterBuzz TV. We are on the wrestling and sports channel. Make sure you tune in. We are live 6 p.m.
Yes,
Pacific
we are.
time. I
Yes.
messed it up last time, so make sure I'm getting it right. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_ my fantasy football podcast at Flex on Fantrax.
I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. It is KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I tweet about them regularly. You can also go to thesoberyear.com. It's a vlog I'm doing about being sober.
And I'm DeAnjilo. You can hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV, on Instagram at DeAnjilo. I'll be here next week, you know.
I'll be her.
Hopefully with some W's. Listen, everyone pray for a Cowboys win.
I actually want you guys to win. I'm tired
There
of
we go.
you.
We can all
From
agree on
executive
that.
producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views expressed